Okay, I got my chicken. It looks so good. I like it a little bit black. Anyway, so living in the campground, well, let me tell you, I was staying here and we had a fire nearby. We had to evacuate. So we all go to these meetup places that they gave us on the news. So we're standing around talking with people about just how fast it happened. And I was new, and I have a van here and I have the RV. And I was scared, like you could see the fire coming up over the hill. I just grabbed almost nothing, grabbed my dog, got the van and left. So I left my whole rig here. I have insurance on the rig. But I thought if something happens and I can't get back to it, I wasn't prepared to just jump in my rig and go. And now I will be. I'm trying to get to a lifestyle where everything has a place, and literally I could be out of a place in like 15 minutes. But I was newer at RVing as far as unhooking things and hooking things and then driving out. And I was, I'd put in a camera, but the camera wasn't working at that time. I was just like, okay, I'm just out of here. But then we're at this place and we're all talking about how fast, and not just one person, but several people was like, yeah, I just had to leave. I didn't even, my whole place was just left unlocked and everything. And I'm like, why did you leave it unlocked? And their answer is like, well, we weren't home. And other people's, yeah, we weren't home either. We did everything we have is unlocked. And neighbors, it's just like, hey, if I don't get home by like 2 or so, will you just go in and walk my dog? Or like, everybody leaves their places unlocked. Like, that's just crazy to me. I still lock my place, not always. If I'm in eye shot of it, I don't. But it takes you back to an old time where nothing, I feel so safe here. There's nothing that would happen without neighbors knowing, because there's people around me like that sense of community. I really like it. And whenever you drive out of the campground, everybody's like, hi, everybody waves. And I find myself, I was driving down the street and there's construction nearby, and I found myself waving to the construction people. And they looked at me like, do I know you? Like, weird. But it's campground living, in my opinion, the people are nicer. I think they just have more time. They're not as stressed. They're not as harried. They're not as tired. They're in that either in vacation mode, or they're retired, or they're just more friendly. And I feel safer as a single female in this community than I do in a regular house. And also, even if I'm out in the boondocks, which I haven't done yet, I've only been at parks, but I'm going to. I feel like if you watch the news, in my old neighborhood, which is like a nice upcoming neighborhood in San Diego, it's in North Park, it's like, oh my gosh, somebody got robbed, somebody got shot. Just, you can't turn on the news. You can't be in a cosmopolitan type area without the threat of random violence. And I feel like the threat of other humans is worse than the threat of animals. Say if I'm out there and there's a bear or a bobcat or a snake or something, I have to think about that, because I'm definitely not prepared to deal with it. But what are the odds versus what are the odds, especially in today's crazy rioting, just hate crime type of world? What is the odds I'm going to be walking down the street someday and just something happens because I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, versus something happening wrong place, wrong time in nature? I'm not seeing that nature is scarier than being in the middle of civilization. My biggest fear is I'll get stuck out there or something, and I'm looking into things for that, like some emergency responder type things. I guess there's some that you can even text on, or you can just hit a button and then they can find you. It works via satellite. I'm going to try to find the one where you don't pay for it, except for when you're out there. You can kind of turn it on and turn it off, because I think there's a monthly fee. But I'm still checking into that. But all in all, I really like RV living, and I find myself so excited. I want to go to Oregon and Washington and Idaho and Colorado. And then I want to go to Florida and Georgia and Alabama and Louisiana. Then, you know, I just see myself, to be honest, going everywhere. So I'm going to go, I'm going to leave here in a couple months. I bought an annual spot, and my annual spot's up in November. So I'll probably leave San Diego in December, because I'm going to try to work through open enrollment, my first open enrollment, as long as I have all my licensing and everything ready by then. If not, I'll leave in November. But if I'm working, I'll stay till December. And then I'm going to go to Las Vegas, see my grandson. Then I want to go to the Salton Sea, and then I'm going to go to Quartzsite and talk to a guy about solar if I can afford it, because there's a guy there, his name is Brian Boone, he's on Facebook, that seems to know the most about solar of anybody I talk to, and I must have talked to probably 10 people about, I wanted the kind of inverter. There's a certain type of inverter that it will use solar power first and then supplement with the electricity. So you could be plugged up to a relative's house. You could be sidewalk surfing or whatever, driveway surfing, and you could plug up to their house, and it would, like, I have relatives in Kentucky. It gets really hot there in the summer. If I wanted to use my AC, I don't want to plug up to their house and just use all their power. Like, that would be expensive for them. But this inverter, it will use any solar energy you have first, and it'll supplement with the plug up. Same thing if you're in a monthly park, which I'll mostly be doing monthly, because, you know, I don't think I have the energy to pack up and pack down and leave like every couple of days. My rig's pretty big, and there's work with it, and to be honest, I like immersing myself in the area. I'm going to be there at least 2 weeks, if not a month. So it may be a couple months some places. The ones that have monthly and you pay for your own utilities, you can literally plug up, and it will keep your batteries charged too. So you could plug up and use the solar power first, but then use the shore power. And if you just plugged up, let's say it's cloudy, the plug up's going to charge up your batteries. And I don't know if that works with all solar. But I wanted this type of inverter, and as soon as I mentioned, he's like, yeah, you need this hybrid. This is what you need. This one will do it. And he knew everything I was talking about. And I think he's like $70 an hour. So I'm finding that if you go to Quartzsite, $80 an hour. If he goes somewhere else, and he travels the U.S., so you could find him, you know, when he's coming close to you, type of thing. I haven't used him yet, so this is not really a review or anything. It's just that he's the guy, because I talk to a lot of guys who say, yeah, you know, I know solar, but they couldn't answer the questions. And so I really want to make sure, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, that, you know, and I don't just get one of those portable ones, which I could, that I want to make sure I get what I want, because you know, I don't want to waste it. And this one too, it charges while you're driving. So I don't know if all the inverters do that, but anyway, I am rambling on and on. I'm very excited. I'm very happy to leave my old life. I'm terrified. You know, I've driven it a few times, and it's really fun actually, but it's a 34-footer. I'm a single female, and I'm having to, it's been a huge learning curve, but I'm no longer bored, and I no longer dread getting up in the morning, and I enjoy the process, and it's really nice. I even drove up about 3.5 hours up north, a little north of LA, and met with my grandson and his mom and stepdad and his sisters. And it's really nice visiting with people that way, because I'm not nearly as tired. Like, flying somewhere or driving a long distance hurts my back. I feel tired. It takes me a lot of work to get ready to go. And then there's a stress involved with not, you know, with real estate, I don't have a full-time assistant. So there was stress involved with that, of having to get to you know, internet and all that stuff. So there's just no stress with driving there. It's like, my house was here. I worked when we were there. I get up in the morning and I worked, and then I met them for like lunch or dinner and hung out, and then I went back home and slept in my own bed, and I love it. I really think that, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to a house. I mean, I may change my mind, but I'm definitely not ready. What I want to do is take the money out of my house and flip a property or two. So I'm going to try that, and if I find something and it works, I'll take you along with me. So I'm going to be an RV person who flips houses. So how's that for different? Anyway, it was very nice to meet you. I'll keep videos coming. I honestly don't know how this is going to work. I read about people having real haters and evil comments, and I don't know if I can handle that, if I want to handle that. I hear some people get a lot of viewers, and with viewers you can actually make some money, which would be good because RVing is expensive. But at the same time, there's a lot of hate with it, and then it becomes a job. And you know, I'm doing 2 jobs now. I don't know if I need a 3rd job. But my niece said, regardless, like, do it, because it's kind of like, I think it's kind of cathartic. It's kind of like a diary, but you don't have to write. You can just speak it. And then also, when I'm long gone, like, my great-great-grandkids won't just see pictures of me. Like, they'll see me. They'll feel like they know me. And my niece is very much a videographer and a photographer, and she's been taking pictures and videos and stuff of all the kids in the family since they were really little. And sometimes we'll be talking, and one will say, I remember that, I remember that. And I'll be like, you can't remember that. You were like 6 months old. And they'll be like, I do remember. I saw the video. So I feel like it is just a real blessing, the whole video thing that we didn't have when I was a kid. Like, it's a way to share, I guess. Like, I can share wherever I'm going and what I'm doing. My son is in Guam. My niece, who's more like my daughter's, up in Oregon. My sister's in Oregon. It's like, how do you stay close? And Skype and everything is fine, but I'll tell you, with grandsons, they're not really into chit-chat. I think that if you tell them a story of what's going on with you, then they might share a story back. And my son actually gave me that advice, but because it's really hard to talk to them once they're not little anymore. So if they see what's going on, and then we can, you know, I'm feeling like it's a really positive thing, and I'm just going to try it and see how it goes. And I'm just going to try it en natural. So I might try to edit. I might try to learn to do a little bit. I might, if I do make any money from YouTube, I'll put it back into like getting a camera or something. Right now I don't even have a camera. I have my iPad though, and I have my iPhone. And I actually bought I bought this at the dollar store at the 99-cent store yesterday. I'll try to put it where I see people talk when they drive. I'll try to see if it'll hook. And right now it's just hanging on a thing in my kitchen. But I figure, I can take pictures of where I am, and I can share it with my kids. And I like that. And then I can also make a record of the place I go and I want to go back to. So anyway, I'm really excited about my life, and I'll let you know how it goes. We'll see. I've been living in my RV for a few months and I love it, and we'll see how I like traveling. I definitely want to, I don't want to postpone my joy anymore. I don't want to plan that someday I'm going to do something fun or enjoy my life or spend time with my family. Someday sometimes never comes. I want to go see my brother, and I want to not see him for a few days. I want to see him for a few months. I want to hang out. I want to reconnect. I want to go see my sister and my niece. I want to have memories. I want my son and grandson to fly here from Guam next summer and take a road trip up to Oregon. Like, how fun would that be? I'm just seeing lots of fun at not a lot of expense. If I can work from here instead of having to be stuck in one spot, if I can make a living doing it, and I think I'm going to specialize in RV insurance. Like, find the, there's certain states that are the domicile states. I'll try to find the best insurance for RVers, and then maybe I'll try to specialize in that. We'll see. Because I'm going to be looking for that myself, and I will be researching the different states to see. So I'm getting older, and that's probably the biggest unknown, worrisome expense. Everything else I can control. But that, I want to find the best options. And I can change my domicile to wherever that works. So since I got to learn it for myself, I'll go that way. But, you know, how fun and how cheap. You know, you can spend a lot of money, or you can, you know, I bought 1,000 Trails, which you can, that's probably a whole nother subject, but that you can stay cheap. Passport America. I think I'm going to buy the Harvest Hosts, which you can stay at like wineries and museums and stuff. And there's boondocking, so I'm going to learn about that. So anyway, I'm on my way, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. Love you guys. Bye.